In this episode of Finogric Machine, we are going to install one VFD. This one, it's a 3 kilowatt VFD, and this modulator and braking resistor, and all these into my new lathe. That's it. And the first thing is to inspect the where to and how to. So, okay, this here is the electric cabinet. And now, warning, everything inside this cabinet is trying to kill you. If you don't have the proper knowledge, or have not doing this kind of things before, please don't. Let somebody else who has been doing this do it for you. It's safer that way. Okay, enough for that thing. Hopefully this was a proper warning for you. So, what I have done so far, I did something in advance. I took this is the power cord of this thing. It's connected on the back side of the machine, and I will replace it with this kind of thing. This will be run in single phase. My plan here is to replace. I will take away some parts from here because first things first, the VFD cannot be connected if there cannot be any switches in between the machine, the engine, the motor and the VFD. It must be directly connected and never ever detached from that motor. So no switches, no relays, no fuses, no nothing in between the VFD and the motor. And for this reason we need to make a lot of modifications inside this cabinet, and we are putting here, actually we are retaining this one. We will keep. This is the main switch. Okay. This is the motor overload fuse. The VFD has that feature inbuilt, so we don't need it. Then we have here, this is for changing the speed of the motor, yeah, okay. But since we have a VFD, we are actually changing the frequency, so we don't need that one. And then this tiny little plate here, that's also we don't need. So we have to put 3 potentiometers here, so I will replace this, that and that with proper plates. I will look for those, make those, and then we have potentiometers with decent knobs in them. Okay, that's okay. Then we have this button. This is when you power on, when you put the plug in for this machine. And even if you have it like this as on, it doesn't run. You have to push this switch first to start it, and then you can operate the lathe. Okay. This is something that is again inbuilt inside this logic I made, so no need for that one. So, I would like to have a light here, maybe a signal light that okay, it's powered on. You can see that okay, now we have power here. Okay, so I will replace that one with a light. Then we have a fuse. And this is, it's a three-phase machine, and we have a single fuse. Well, it's for the lights and whatever. There are some outlets in the backside for machine light and DRO. 2 of those. Fuse for those? I'm not sure. Maybe I just plug the hole. So, that all being said, that's the plan. So, let's see what's inside. Yeah, these are very, very, very good actually. They are not tight as hell. They shouldn't be. Yeah, these are really nice. So I actually already have been reading the schematics of this machine, and that was enlightening. So actually everything is brought into this cabinet, and then it goes. The motor wires come directly here. The mains comes directly here. This switch, which is located here backside, the switch is inside the vase there. So that is also, it's wired down here, including also. Okay, we have this. Yeah. Okay, there you go. It's what we have here. You don't see any, not a lot of it, but let's see what's here. So this one was the switch that is changing the windings for the motor, and since it's connected, you can see that all these wires go into there. So we have here 6 wires. They are the motors. This means that the motors are connected in triangle. So it's good for me. And then we have two wires here, and only one is marked as 12. Well, yeah, okay. The rest, I will see which one of these 3 is. I will look for the low speed winding. That one I want. And then we have something here coming into here. It's also like connected. This is coming from, yeah, these wires come from the speed, no, the direction switch from here. Okay. Then we have one here. Only 2 wires connected. This is the emergency stop. Yeah. And then we have one. Yeah, this is the mains wire. Yeah, coming from the power cord. And then we have something. Yeah, here you can see this is not a 3-phase connection. It has only the blue, brown, and then you have this yellow, green, which is ground wire. So this is for the power, for the outlets back there. Huh. That's it. Everything is identified. It's really easy. This one is simple. Furthermore, I need to, because inside the cabinet here, it's not deep enough for the VFD. I will actually put it in the back side of there. And now this machine seems to have, it should have, there is room for coolant system here, but I'm not going to use any coolant. There is no option in this lathe for coolant. So no coolant, no mist, no nothing. I don't want to breathe the mist, really. So, well, so the VFD will be sitting inside the cabinet on the back side of this housing. Yeah, and of course the braking resistor will go there as well. What's more? Yeah, I will start now. Well, measuring the wires. I have here a multimeter, which I will be using. This is making a beep sound every time. Now it's connected on one of those wires back there. I should be getting a signal from that one. Yeah. Yeah. And then we have 2 black wires here. Well, I have to connect it down there to the correct. I will choose two of these wires for my connections. So this is already like, well, yeah, okay, and well, so let's start with this one. Okay. So, the VFD is now installed, and yeah, it works. And stops in 1 second, that's okay. If I do it even faster, it will trip the VFD, and that's not good. The braking resistor can only do about 1 second, not more. And then, well, everything seems to work in this way. So, well, what I have now figured out is actually quite, well, when a device is multi-purpose, so when it's very flexible, it also means that you have a lot of controls. And for example, if I want to create a thread with 1 millimeter pitch. So this means that I need to see that the metric gears are there. There is a metric gear and imperial gears. And when I have the metric gears here, so then I can choose. I have 2 tables to choose from. Both of them have this 1 millimeter, okay. And then I need to set this to F, this to either R or Z, and furthermore dial here number 4. Then choose which way to thread, left or right, Yeah, okay. Oh yeah, and this must be in A. So, yeah. So, if I choose B here, I will be in these settings, I will be doing a 0.5 millimeter thread. So, yeah. And for with C, it's 0.25 millimeters. So, you can quite easily switch here between those. So, probably a metric thought there. I haven't yet measured the lead screw what is that, because this dictates whether I can disconnect it or not. Okay, and the speed selection is also, there is a thing here which you pre-select a speed and then you engage it and then you can run it. If it well, it should be. Yeah. No. So yeah. And this is the reverse direction. And forward it makes more sound. You can tell that this has been used a lot into this direction. Well. And yeah, okay. So furthermore, I made my first purchase for this one. Well, a chip pan. You first create your chips and then you put some onions and maybe potatoes and put it into your oven. Minerals guaranteed. So, yeah. Well, the next thing with this lathe will be the feet. It doesn't have those feet and I don't have them, so I need to turn them. So that's easy job as a first job with this one. So it's really practicing and practicing with this one. But in the next episode it will be lathe feet. Till then, bye!